Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel Webonsky. Today we will talk about the different type of servers like shared VPS and dedicated servers. What are these servers? What are the benefits of using it? What are the difference in between of these trial servers? So we will talk all these things in this video. So we will start with the shared server. What are shared hostings? Nowadays, everybody see try to host a website, and they have seen many ads from GoDaddy, HostGator, Hosting India. So these are few of the famous hosting providers that provide you to host your website on the servers. They most probably they provide the shared hostings, VPS, and dedicated servers. So how you will understand like which server will be best for you? So we will talk about shared hosting first. Shared hosting is one of the most common and popular forms of web hosting service. It is generally provided by web hosting service providers, which usually have multiple web servers on site. Upon sign up with the provider, each website's local partition or space is created on the web server, which houses data for that website only. Other websites are also present on the same server, simultaneously sharing the storage, computing power, network, and other resources. Because it is shared service, shared hosting is a cheaper alternate to dedicated hosting. Shared hosting is recommended for websites that are smaller in size, don't have large amount of website traffic, have considerably lower security concerns, and require cost-effective solutions for website hostings. So as you understood, like we use shared hosting for small uh, blogging kind of websites where we don't get a lot of traffic or huge traffic on the website, or those websites which does not require a lot of server resources. So in those scenarios, or also startups can consider using shared hosting. So shared hosting will be useful in these kind of scenarios. Now we will talk about VPS. So VPS hosting uses a parent server to host multiple virtual servers that are separated from each other. Using a software called a hypervisor, the hosting company implements a virtual layer on top of the operating system to segment the virtual servers. The operating system between virtual vaults allows each user to install their own OS and software, creating a server that's truly private, separated from others on the OS level. So this is the concept like how a VPS server works. So there, suppose there is a physical host server having a lot like huge configuration of CPU and memory, and then on top of that we use there is a software that is called hypervisor. So that software is responsible to provide some to allow you create virtual servers on top of that physical machine. So all the virtual servers, you can call it as a servers. So all these virtual servers are dedicated to you whenever you try to purchase a VPS. So you have complete control on that server, and you will you won't feel that you don't have any dedicated server. It will give you a complete control, and you can have SSH or complete control of installing softwares like Node, Python, or whatever command line you want to access. So using that, it will fulfill all your needs, so that you can install third-party softwares or packages, whatever you want, unlike the shared hosting. So because in shared hosting you don't have SSH access or complete server access or control, where you are limited to use third-party services or softwares. You can't install it. So as a difference, in the VPS you have complete control on the server, and you can install services like when you are working on Angular or Node, Python. So you will be able to install these softwares by yourself using the SSH. So now let's talk about dedicated servers. A dedicated server provides functionality like an in-house server that is owned, operated, and managed by the backend provider. The user customer remotely connects with the dedicated server over the internet to perform a suite of server-based services. A dedicated server may be used to host applications or services, as well as for data storage and backup services. A dedicated server also may be used internally for the hosting and provisioning of specialized services, such as implementing dedicated file or network servers. So if you use a dedicated server, you will have complete control on the server. You will same like VPS, you will have complete control on the servers. You will be able to install the services whatever you want to install. You can uh, you will have a complete access of the command line SSH. So almost you will have complete control of the servers, same like VPS. But the only difference is that here you will have a physical server, and on the cloud, as suppose you will, because you will have a remotely access of that server, but on the remote it will be a physical machine. But as compared to the VPS, that VPS server is also treated as a complete server, but is virtually created on a physical machine. So on the same physical machine there are more than one virtual servers created. So this is the VPS, and in the dedicated server you have a physical machine. So this is the only difference. Otherwise you will have complete control on the both servers. And VPS, if you go to the VPS, you will need to pay less money, but as compared to VPS, dedicated server will charge you much more than VPS server. So now, as a conclusion, shared hosting is a hosting where we use server resources, but it is shared among multiple websites. Like more than one websites are hosted on the same server, and they share resources of the server. That is why from the performance and security it is less reliable, and you won't get a lot of like good performance of the website. But it is good if you have less number of traffic, and you are just starting up an online stuff, something like that. So you can go with the blogging kind of websites, informative websites, something like that, where you don't have much traffic, and it doesn't require much server configurations or computational power. So in those scenarios you can go with the shared hosting. And if you now have little mature in websites, and now you want a medium level website, then you can go for VPS. And if you want a good computational power or something, then you can choose dedicated servers. So these are the difference and scenarios where you can use any of them based on your requirement and scenario, what you have, what kind of things or performance you want. If you find this video useful, please like and subscribe.